the Houston Astros might be a good fit for a trade partner, potentially, right? They're looking for a left-handed outfielder, and we've been stockpiling those for years. We have plenty of those, Jesse. So maybe the D-backs could maybe make a trade here.
Yeah, I actually have a bot set up on my computer that just searches for reports of teams looking for left-handed hitting outfielders.
He does. It's kind of crazy.
Because it's like, oh my gosh, the team I cover is surely interested, right?
He gets a Google alert and he screams about it.
Yeah,
he's like, we got another one.
There has to be a fit here. And Dana Brown, the Astros general manager, this was about a week ago, he said if we could somehow get a left-handed bat, preferably an outfielder with some speed. I mean, come on, Derek.
Can I offer you Jake McCarthy?
It just makes sense on paper. Granted, this is a.
Can I offer you a Dominic Fletcher?
Dominic Fletcher, less so on the speed side, but still a solid defender at all three positions, and certainly left-handed as well. Yeah, I don't know if this is still a thing, but I wanted to at least bring it up. The Astros did acquire minor league outfielder Trey Cabbage in a trade with the Angels on Wednesday. Fantastic baseball name, by the way.
Trey Cabbage.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah, that's
great. Awesome. That sounds like some sort of cool name you'd give someone's hair or something, like Trey Cabbage. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so Cabbage does kind of fit the description here. So I think it's possible that the Astros already kind of satisfied the need that they had in this area.
Sure.
Cabbage has barely played in the majors. He's not as established as a Jake McCarthy or even a Dominic Fletcher. I think in some ways, I think there are more questions with Trey Cabbage. Dominic Fletcher, I think, is a more valuable player. So maybe there's a world in which the Astros want to shoot a little bit higher than that, and they're still interested in pulling the trigger on something like this. And Jake McCarthy or potentially Dominic Fletcher could make some sense.
He gave up way too much in this quote, Jesse. He said that type of package will pounce on it. Are you kidding me? Like, you don't go to a car dealership with that kind of attitude. You're going to be fleeced. I mean, I feel this man is putting himself out there for Mike Hazen to absolutely fleece him. Mike Hazen loves to fleece other GMs of their prospects. But what would the Diamondbacks potentially get in return, or what would they want in return at this point? I mean, we do know that, of course, we've talked about some of their needs. We did speak yesterday about the bullpen. Jordan was a little surprised that the Diamondbacks haven't done anything to improve their bullpen.
Yeah.
And that seemed to be something that Mike Hazen has brought up a few times in the past.
Yeah, and I think that's what would make the most sense. Like if you're the Diamondbacks and you're trying to make a trade, and we've talked a number of times on this show about how a trade might make some sense. The D-backs still have more depth pieces, in my opinion, than they can really make use of.
Yeah.
So if you could find a trade partner, I think it could still make sense. And you'd probably be looking for relief pitching. At least that would be one of the things at the top of the list for sure. Yeah. The tricky thing with the Astros is, the back end of their bullpen is really excellent. They have Josh Hader, of course, whom they just signed. Ryan Presley, who's been their closer for a while, is still there. Brian Abreu, one of the best relievers in the game, still in his mid-20s. So their back end is really good. Beyond that, I don't think they're going to trade any of those guys for Jake McCarthy. Beyond that, I'm not sure if I really see a reliever impactful enough for the Diamondbacks to want to pull the trigger there. Rafael Montero might have made some sense. He was someone we talked about last year as a free agent target for the Diamondbacks, but he had a pretty brutal first season with the Astros. His ERA was around 5. The peripherals weren't great either. The Astros would have to eat a lot of money in order to make that trade, and I'm not sure the D-backs even want Rafael Montero at this point, now that he's 33 years old and coming off a pretty rough season. So yeah, I think it's a dead end, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't really see an ideal relief pitcher. Jake Myers is interesting. He's a right-handed hitting outfielder. Kind of like an Alec Thomas type, who's a really, really good defender, but not great against same-handed pitching. Jake Myers has done pretty well against lefties, but not so against righties. I mean, on paper, that kind of makes sense. Like the Astros want a lefty, the D-backs could use a right-handed hitting outfielder, but I'm not sure if the Astros would want to do that. They probably want to add a left-handed hitting outfielder, not like trade one of their existing outfielders for one. So Yeah, I think it's most likely a dead end. But again, I have this bot on my computer, Derek, and it went off the other day, and I just had to talk about it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate your due diligence in trying to figure out where we can send these left-handed outfielders. So